Well, did you all stay around for the fourth quarter? It didn't look like much up until then, but anyway, we are. I'm actually really proud of this team because it was also pretty obvious that they had the edge early. They had it. They were on top of it more than we were, making more plays. We weren't tackling well, and they were making us miss. There was a lot of hard stuff, but I really am pleased with our kind of ability to stay in it and then play better and make big plays to win the game. That's great stuff. You know, we obviously have a lot of work to do to improve some of those other things, but that part of it is a great quality to have.
You had a drive that took more than 30 real-time minutes, more than 10 game-time minutes. What did that whole thing feel like to you as 18 plays on that one?
Boy, the one thing that I just felt like is that they hardly had the ball in the second half. That was a result of exactly what you just asked about. So I thought that was good.
You outscored your opponent something like 78-6 in the fourth quarter. What do you attribute that to?
Well, it's kind of like the qualities that I just said. I think that our team has made plays to win games, and the fourth quarter is when you're doing that. And we're, like I said, I'm really proud of that. And it just dawned on me, maybe whatever they did and what our people did to condition them to last and play their best at the end. I don't know. I don't know if that's really a part of it, but it could be. But I think it's probably the biggest part is the mental competitiveness that I'm most pleased with, is that keep your poise, keep playing, even though it wasn't very pretty, and then make some plays to win the game. It was great.
I know you guys always liked Newby, but can you speak to his toughness and stick to itiveness today, and the way he ended his game, which with that long run and his performance?
Sam, my thoughts about him have always been good, and they went up a ton today. I really have a lot of respect for what he did today. We were down. I mean, Devine was out, Wilbon was hurting. It was pretty thin, and he stepped up and played physically tough, took care of the football, made big plays. Probably the biggest factor. And you got to give the line some credit there. We started making some hay on a couple of those zone runs that we had, so they're doing a good job there. And Newby, I thought he was a real man today.
What was your decision to put Conrad in the game to tackle?
Well, Neville we thought he was improving. He has improved with his ankle all the time, better and better each day, but struggled. And so when he was struggling, Cole has been practicing real well, so we didn't hesitate to put him in the game.
What's the status of Carter in Westerkamp and Ozigbo?
The status of Carter is he hurt his elbow, and I don't know how long whatever he did to it, I don't know what length of time that will mean to him being out. Westerkamp, they took him to the hospital to just make sure they checked everything out with him. We don't know anything more than that right now. Zigbu, unless it's a high ankle, it is an ankle sprain, and that should be okay. And summarizing and looking at our team and watching that thing take place today, it appears to be a real good time for a bye week. So,
do you think the Westerkamp's all right?
I want to think that. I don't know any. I just say that because I really don't know any more than that, Sam. But I shouldn't say one more word than that.
On the 56-yard kick you had, Drew, was that a tough decision there on that one?
Yeah, that was a bad decision by me. I would take that back right now. The wind had been going back. We really didn't have a good feel gauge on the wind. It'd been going back and forth. It wasn't smart at all.
How do you feel your defense played today? In the fourth quarter, you got some stops when you needed, but up to that point, what were you thinking?
I didn't think we were really right on top of it today. In general, I don't think. It's like I said, I thought Illinois was really well prepared. Lovey did a real good job with that team. through the time they had to prepare for this game. They were on top of it. We missed tackles. They made some plays in the passing game. I thought that we were okay. But I do think the guys made some plays and better plays, all of that as the game went on. And so the fourth quarter was a lot different. The plays that we had to make in the fourth quarter, we made them. Some real good down the field, knock away balls by, I think one of them was Aaron Williams, and one of them might have been Chris or Josh Kalu. I thought there were some good plays.
Why did you decide to go for it on fourth down at, the 4th and 1, and then did you think you got it? Before
When we did get it, that one they said that we did?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew we'd get it, I guess. That would be, no. The way that game was going, I just thought, we better do this right now. Because I think I felt like the more confidence we gave them, the worse it was. And we kept giving them life throughout the game, and I didn't want to do that one more time.
Do you think you got it?
Yeah, I think we got it. I thought that. Do you? They measured it, didn't they? Yeah, well, I've been through a lot of those in my life, and we get in some, but I know when they do this, it's good. So.
When you reviewed it, did you have that moment, I don't know?
No, you know what? I've talked to officials about that. That's their toughest review, right? That idea. So I actually felt pretty decent about it, and I was ready too, because I thought, okay, the worst thing that happens here is we got them backed up, and now we just got to stop them and get the ball back.
Just big picture, you're 5-0 at the bye week. What do you want to use this extra time for, and how do you feel about being where you're at right now?
Well, I think there's a few things about this. I think we want to spend good time, but not too much, but good time to get ready for our next game. So the game preparation part of it, we want to work on some situations in football games in general, stuff like 2-minute and 4-minute offense and end of the half stuff. Just some specific deals I've been writing down for the last week on game situations, and then we'd like to get guys feeling good physically as best we can. And we're also going to do a bit of work and let our young guys that have been scout team players for an extended period of time so far this year, let them play a little football and get coached by our coaches this week.
Back to Newby for a second. It seems like he's grown in some ways as a runner over the last year or so. I mean, he ran for good yardage last year, but it seems like there's just more there with him.
I think that he is quietly one of our better workers, quietly well respected. He's not really out. He's not going to make a lot of noise, but I think everybody does have a lot of respect for him. I think he's prepared himself at the top level for his senior year, so he's taken advantage of it. And when it all came down to it today, when nobody else was left, he stepped up and played hard and made some great cuts and helped win the game.
Looking over the past 5 games, when things started out, they were kind of sloppy in terms of penalties. Today, you only had 3. I think that was in the first quarter. What do you attribute to being able to move along and kind of clean those things up?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the choices that players make. Because the penalties that I really think have to be controlled are those penalties that have to do with procedure of the game, offside, false starts, illegal formations, shifts, motions, stuff like that. That stuff is just obviously a poor reflection on everybody. And then the other thing that I'm most pleased with that we had, I think one of them today was unsportsmanlike, late hit, roughing the passer, stuff like that. Those can be game changers. And so that's the part that I'm most pleased with in the improvement in those areas. there's going to be some holding calls and pass interference. There's going to be some of that stuff in football in general. You want to hold those down. You don't want many, but 3 penalties is a far cry from where we were a lot of games a year ago and even earlier this year. So we're doing okay. That's the big 3, turnovers, penalties, and big plays. I don't think we did a great job with big plays today defensively, but those are 3 areas we've definitely improved in.
Anything else for Coach?
Another turnover in the red zone, how much of a concern is that going forward?
Well, the turnovers in general get you beat, and the turnovers when you have a chance to score just can be lethal. So it's always a big concern when you do that. Thank you all very much. Appreciate